Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in Columbus, Ohio. In the previous episode, we beat the Montreal Canadiens in the Eastern Conference Finals because we got revenge for what happened last year in the first round. They swept us, and then we're like, hey, screw you Montreal, who 24 Stanley Cups? Psh, screw you, swept them. Swept them in the Eastern Conference Finals. 2 straight sweeps. We haven't lost in 8 games. We're here, back in the Stanley Cup Finals. But this time, we're taking on the Minnesota Wild. And you know what I hadn't realized in the last episode when I was like, oh, you got Minnesota and Vancouver in the Western Conference Finals. Minnesota and Columbus are expansion brothers. In the year 2000, the NHL introduced 2 new teams, and it just didn't click. I'm pretty sure Minnesota was the expansion team, and I looked it up. I looked through my notes, and I'm like, hey, they're expansion buddies. So 30 years removed from when they were introduced, they are battling for the Stanley Cup. Minnesota trying to get their first, and we are trying to get our second. Now, this is storylines at its peak. You can't write this. Expansion brothers battling for it in the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay, and first and foremost, I want to check out my player stats. I did in the last episode because it was a very short one. I want a refresher if you're not sure what went down. We swept the Montreal Canadiens, and Joshua Waugh had a fantastic Eastern Conference Finals. 11 goals, 13 games. Good for 18 points. Woodworth, who was quieter in that round, but he's still second best on this team. That just shows how good he was in the first 2 rounds. Fallon, who I changed to a playmaker, I will say it till the end of time. If we end up winning the Stanley Cup, it was your boy Thumbs over here who changed him from a two-way forward to a playmaker, adding a little more offense to the second line. Savoie, who is quietly having a very good postseason. You know, he's our first-line center, 96 overall. I mean, you can't be mad at that at all. But quietly. I mean, we have 5 guys over a point per game on this team, and Pierre-Luc Dubois having another fantastic postseason. This guy seems to always be good. See, last year, not great. Nobody was great in that first round. The year before, pretty good. Year before that, not too shabby. Year before that, point per game. Not the year before that, but the year before that, 22 points. He's been great most of his postseason runs. And I'm going to ask for even more this Stanley Cup Finals. Philip Zadina, one game winning goal is very important. I think he scored a late goal last series to win it. I'm not too sure, but he definitely scored a late minute goal to win a series for us. Big Texas with 10 points in 13 games is also not too shabby. I'm expecting big things from everybody. If you go quiet, I swear to God, not again. Vincent Trocheck, not too shabby, 9 points. Trade deadline acquisition, Clint Reed, not too shabby. I mean, not great, but he's not a minus player. Chris Tierney, also not a minus player. He's helping defensively wise. Robinson Soy, well, not great. Not great, but that's a problem for the offseason. Maxime Labrie, not great either. Defensively wise, who led this team, McAvoy, 11 points in 13 games. Our top 2 defensemen there are playing fantastic. If you get 10 points in 13 games as a defenseman, you can't ask for much more than that. 3 goals, 7 assists for Merkley, and 1 goal, 10 assists for McAvoy. Okay, I can't be too upset with that, okay? Samuel Girard with 10. I was looking at his plus minus. Plus minus of 10 is not too shabby. 8 points is also not too bad. Stu Cam with 4 in 13 games. He's a plus 11, though. He has the second best plus-minus on this team. He's not terrible in the slightest. I mean, obviously you want your defensemen to score points, but if they're not a defensive liability, then you can't be upset. He's helping us win games for sure. Winquist, 3 goals, which is huge. One of them being a game-winning goal, which is even bigger. He's been pretty solid. 3-way tie for most goals by defensemen in this postseason. Jarvinen, 2 points, but he's a plus 6. Exactly what I said with Stu Cam. He's not a defensive liability. Goaltending-wise, Vyacheslav Kavanov, 926 save percentage and a 2.15 goals against. He's 12-0-1. Okay? He is good. God, I put it out in the universe. Last year, he was god-awful against Montreal. He just needed to get his confidence back. Regular season, he wasn't great either. But right now, he's playing the best hockey he has ever played. And I'm expecting even bigger from him, okay? Okay, that's all. That's what needs to happen. Now, Minnesota, you got here. But how did you get here? Game 7 win against Edmonton in the first round, beat Winnipeg in 6 in the second round. In the Western Conference Finals, they beat the Vancouver Canucks. We beat New Jersey in 5 games in the first round. Second round, we beat Washington. We're clearing out former rivals. And then the Eastern Conference Finals, we beat out the Montreal Canadiens. But we are fighting our expansion brothers, and I have no idea what Minnesota looks like here in 2030. What team are we facing? How good are they? They won 51 games in the regular season, and they're right here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, hot damn. Those first 2 lines are scary. First line center in Luke Kunin, which is not too shabby. Rantanen, Kaprizov, who is always deadly, 14 goals in 20 games. That is scary. Lindback, yeah, I mean, he was drafted 2023 6th overall. He's their franchise player. Eriksson Ek, Pasternak, it looks like they've dipped their hand into free agency multiple times. I mean, he's only there for another year. I mean, this might be it for Pasternak in Minnesota, but he wants to go out on top. All these guys want to get Lord Stanley Cup. Their bottom 6, Boldy, Martin Kaut, and, oh, that's a name, Bella Fulil. Maxime, 6'4", 22 years of age, also not too bad of a player. Whitney, Ingillis, and Renz. I mean, I think we have the better bottom 6. I mean, I think we have the better top 6 as well, but they have their weapons. And I'm scared of them. They have a few weapons on this team that can win series. Okay, defensive. Jake Bean, Lambos, Yoki Harju, Clevin, Myers, and Dumba. They have an old third pairing team. I thought that was Tyler Myers for a second. Matt Dumba, 35 years of age, $8 million. Whoa! But it looks like they have, I mean, first pairing is not shabby. It's a good defensive pairing. But then you look at our defense, and you're like, well, I think they're probably the better team, right? We are the better team, defensively wise, at this point. Yoki Harju isn't that bad. Clevin also not that bad, but our bottom pairing should be able to wipe these 2 guys out. Goaltending. It always comes down to goaltending. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is their starting goaltender, and Crab, they don't have the best goaltending either, but I'm sure he's been pretty good for them. Very, very good, very decent contract for him, Crab. So they have a 1-2 punch. If Luukkonen isn't doing well, they go with Crab. Do they have any scratch players? Quenneville and Tamara. So that is their lines. This is what they're rolling with in the Cup Finals. I'm scared. Just like years past, I think we have the better team. but in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have been bad. We're 1-2 in the Cup Finals. We beat Chicago the first time, then we lost 2 straight to Vancouver and Dallas. What lines do we have? Let me show you what we are working with. This is the team. Waugh, Savoie, Woodworth, Zadina, Dubois, Fallon, Trocheck, Big Texas, and Soy, Clint Reed, Tierney, and Labrie. Those first 2 lines have got to be great. They've got to be great. Defensively wise, Stucam, Merkley, Jarvinen, Girard, Winquist, and McAvoy. And then, of course, our starting goaltender in Kavanaugh. Okay? This is the moment you've all been waiting for. We're fighting the 2000 expansion team, our brothers. This is our 30th anniversary, and we both want to go out on top. We have home ice advantage. They were a pretty good regular season team, okay? But I believe that we are the better team. Obviously, they have their weapons, but we have ours as well. First game, first period of the 2030 Stanley Cup Finals. Here we go. First period, 1-0. Matthew Savoie gets on the board. Shots are in our favor, 13-7. Second period, 1-1. Whitney ties it up, and we have an even game headed into the third period. Here we go. Come on, Fallon comes up clutch to get the lead. Power play for them, but they cannot capitalize. Half the period remaining. Power play for us again. Come on, boys. Come on. Joshua Waugh comes up clutch, getting the 2-goal lead. And I think, I don't want to say it too early, but I think we will get the Game 1 victory against the Minnesota Wild. Matthew Savoie, one of the best teams on this, one of the best players on this team, leading this team in this game. Waugh and Fallon having a pretty good game as well. But I think Kavanaugh had a pretty good game as well. I mean, when you have a locker room chemistry at 80%, that's pretty good. Okay, I just want to keep going with this momentum. We've won 9 straight games. Or actually, sorry, we've won 10 straight games. Here we go. Second game here at Nationwide Arena. Come on, here we go. First period, 1-0. Pasternak, one of their biggest offensive weapons, scores for them. Shots are in our favor. Second period, 2-1. Stu Cam scores for us to tie it up, and Vincent Trocheck gets us on top. Third period, here we go. And Soy comes out clutch right out of the gates, but cuts the lead in half. Power play for us yet again, and we cannot capitalize yet. Come on, Woodworth! Haven't seen that name in a while. Gets the power play goal. 2-goal lead in the third period of game number 2. McAvoy, 3-goal lead, and it looks like we will take a 2-0 series advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals. Big game out of our stars. Big Texas. Can't get any bigger than that. 3 assists, our first star. Okay, we hold a 2-0 series lead. Our captain comes in clutch when things were close. Okay? And things can't get any closer. This is the moment. This is the turning point in this series. If we win this game, we could have big things in our future. But if we lose this game, it's a whole new series. Here at the XL Energy Center. Okay, riding a 10-game win streak? No. So, we've won 11 straight here in the postseason. Okay, come on. Third game, first period, 2-2. High-scoring first period. Boldy scores for them. Waugh scores 2 unanswered, 1 on the penalty kill, and then Lindback ties it up. Second period. Oh, the boys are coming in clutch. The boys are coming in clutch. Big Texas with a huge goal to I'm losing my mind over here. Big Texas. Biggest goal of the postseason. Makes it 3-2. Zadina and Waugh make it a 3-goal advantage. Third period, boys. Third period. Robinson Soy, 2-goal game for the man. It's making me hard to trade him in the offseason. Lindback, it's not over yet. Scores to cut the lead down to 3. Power play for them yet again with half the period remaining. Plenty of time to even things back up. Okay, come on, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Savoie makes it a 4-goal game. It looks like we have them in a stranglehold. Waugh with 4 points, Big Texas with 3. Okay. We hold a 3-0 series advantage over the Minnesota Wild. We are in the same spot as teams were against us in years before. In years past. They got it done. It's time for us to get it done and hoist our 2nd Stanley Cup. I believe in this team. I officially believe in this team. Do I slow sim this game? Sure, I slow sim. Okay. Oh my god, Big Texas gets on the board 2 minutes into the game. Not even. Okay, power play for us. Come on, boys. Luke Kunin ties it up. Dubois gets on the board. Merkley, it's a 2-goal advantage for the boys in purple. Oh my god. Trocheck makes it a 4-1 game in the first period. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Finally, it's looking so good, Kavanaugh. Get it done. They have 2 shots in the first period. 2. They had 2. They had 2 shots, and we almost had 20. Oh my god, second period. Power play for us. Come on, keep it going. Power play for us. Come on, boys. Come on. Power play for them. It's still a wide open game. We have 3 goals, but you know how this team works. We usually let in 3 goals and it goes to the God, I'm losing my mind. Okay. This is the moment. I've said we've had moments before, but this is your defining moment. A lot of these players on this team have never had one. Woodworth has had one. Waugh has had one. I think Waugh had one in his first season. But it's been a while. Okay? It's been a while since he's had one. It's been a while since this team has had one. This is bigger than our first. It's been a long time coming. Go out there, play hockey. This is the sport that you've been playing your entire life. Vincent Trocheck, the deadline acquisition. 5-1, Lindback makes it a 3-goal game yet again. 5-4, 10 minutes remaining, boys. 6-2, shorthanded goal for Joshua Waugh. 6-3, Pasternak, 5 minutes remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Okay. 3 minutes remaining. Oh my god. We are down to the last minute and 30 seconds of this season. This team knows how to get it done. Finally. 1 minute remaining. 60 seconds. Just play defense. Do whatever you need to do. Just get it done, Samuel Girard. Was that Samuel Girard? I don't know. It was Samuel Girard, the guy that we traded Askarov for, comes in clutch. At the end of this game, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the same position we've been in before. The same position that we've been put in before. But we are getting it done. Savoie, a break here late, and it's a penalty. I'm losing my mind. Oh my God. I don't care. Just play. Just play. Jake Bean. Screw you, Jake Bean. You're going to be watching us win the Stanley Cup from the box. The Minnesota Wild, no give. I was expecting, because they have some weapons. They have their big weapons. Rantanen, Kaprizov, who I didn't see his name once, I don't think. Pasternak. Did I say Pasternak? They didn't get. I thought they had the weapons to at least make this a six-game series. But we have won. We haven't lost a game since game number 4 of the first round. Has a team ever done that? Has a team won that many in a row in the Stanley Cup playoffs? 2 sweeps, looking for our 3rd sweep in a row. We've lost 1 game this postseason. 1 game en route to our 2nd Stanley Cup. 25 seconds remaining. This is the biggest moment of some of these guys' career. Woodworth is going to get one. The captain. I'm befuddled. Is that the right word? 10 seconds remaining. I'm ready to pop some champagne bottles. And it looks like the Columbus Blue Jackets will win the 2030 Stanley Cup. It's not on home ice, but it tastes a lot better than our first Stanley Cup. It's been a long time coming for this team. A long time coming. Yes! Yes! So many times we've been in this position and we've lost in the Cup Finals. Do you know how good this feels? We got swept in the first round last year, and I was ready to call it quits. I was ready to blow this team up. I was ready to throw it into the sun. A lot of these guys, I was ready to, you know what? Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye to them. But we get to say hello to the Stanley Cup. I don't care who led this team. It was a team effort. This is a team sport. Kavanaugh, you came in clutch this entire postseason. You were shaky in the first round, but ever since then, you've been dynamite. I want to say thank you to Kavanaugh. Your jersey will be retired at the end of your career. Joshua Waugh wins the Conn Smythe Trophy, 14 points. No, not 14 points. Was that 14 assists? I don't know. I didn't even read it. We won the Stanley Cup, boys, and Jeffrey Woodworth, the captain of this franchise in our 30th season. We beat our expansion brothers to win our 2nd Stanley Cup. I truly believed in this team in the later half of this postseason. I'm like, we have it. I felt something special happening with this team. Woodworth, number 48, gets to hoist that Stanley Cup first for the 2nd time in his career. You enjoy this moment. I'm enjoying this moment. We're going to party in Minnesota. We're going to party in Columbus. We're going to party everywhere. Stu Cam, who we traded Cam Atkinson for, the pick from Boston, he wins the Stanley Cup, the assistant captain on this team. Best Columbus Blue Jackets defenseman in history. Big Chris Tierney, I thought that was Big Texas. Trade deadline acquisition. Gets it done. Finally. Yes. Finally, yeah. Why is Chris Tierney taking so long to celebrate? You know, everybody should get that moment. But the guy who I didn't have a lot of faith in to start this season. Number 31, Vyacheslav Kavanov, the draft pick feels like a long while ago, wins the Stanley Cup. All the odds. We beat him. We are the Stanley Cup champions. You enjoy it, boys. I'm enjoying it. It's party in Columbus.